Welcome to long-form content of Tech Bytes and News. This is a compilation on latest news and articles featured on Hacker News. You can find the original links of articles in the description. Please like and subscribe to support future content. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today we're diving deep into a seriously nasty piece of malware disguised as a VS Code extension. It's a multi-stage attack, folks, and it's pretty slick.
Ooh, multi-stage? Sounds intense. What's the name of this sneaky extension?
It's called Trufflescode, a clever typo-squatting attempt targeting the popular Truffle extension. The attackers are banking on developers making a simple typo during installation.
So, typo squatting. Classic. But a multi-stage attack? Walk me through it.
Absolutely. Stage 1 involves the initial download of a heavily obfuscated batch file. This batch file, itself obfuscated using Ababus-obfuscator, makes reverse engineering a real headache.
Right, obfuscation is the name of the game for these guys. So what happens next?
Stage 2 is where things get interesting. That batch file uses Silent PowerShell to download a malicious DLL. Think of the DLL as the next step in the chain, the launcher for the final payload.
ADLL? Sneaky. And the final stage?
Stage 3 is the real kicker. The DLL downloads and installs a seemingly legitimate remote desktop application, Screen Connect. But here's the catch. It's pre-configured with the attacker's credentials, giving them complete remote access to the victim's machine.
Wow, that's incredibly insidious. So, they're essentially getting full control? That's a big deal.
Exactly. They've bypassed many security measures by using a seemingly legitimate application. The researchers confirmed the connection using Netstat, showing the backdoor connection established on port 8041.
I see. So what can developers do to protect themselves from this kind of attack?
Good question. First, always verify the authenticity of packages. Check publisher details, download counts, and user reviews. Second, analyze the package contents before installation, especially if it's small and has obfuscated scripts. Third, monitor network activity for suspicious outbound connections. And finally, use automated security scanning tools to catch these things before they even get installed.
Those are all excellent points. It really highlights the importance of proactive security measures, especially in the developer world. This is a serious threat.
Absolutely. The rise of these software supply chain attacks is alarming. We need to be vigilant and employ multiple layers of defense. This Trufflescode incident is a stark reminder of that.
Definitely. Thanks for breaking this down for us. It's a crucial warning for all developers out there.
You're welcome. And to our listeners, stay safe, stay informed, and remember to always double-check those extensions before installing them. Thanks for tuning in to Tech Bytes and News. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of balcony solar panels, a trend taking off in Europe, especially in Germany and now Spain. It's amazing how quickly this technology is gaining traction.
Absolutely. The article highlights the incredible success in Germany, with 1.5 million installations already. That's a massive number. What's driving this popularity? Is it just the environmental aspect, or are there other compelling reasons?
It's a perfect storm, really. The article points to several key factors. First, the cost-effectiveness. Manufacturers claim you can save up to 30% on your electricity bill with a relatively small investment of €400 minus 800. Plus, no installation costs. That's a huge selling point.
Wow, that's a significant return on investment. And it makes sense that the ease of installation is a major draw. But what about the regulatory hurdles? I imagine getting approval for rooftop solar panels can be a nightmare.
You're right, that's a huge barrier for many. The article emphasizes that's where balcony solar shines. In Spain, for example, 2/3 of the population lives in apartments. Rooftop installations often require the consent of a building's majority of residents, a process that can be incredibly difficult. But with balcony panels, you generally only need approval if your building has historical significance, or there's a specific rule against it. Plus, under 800 watts, you don't need expensive certification.
That's a game changer. It makes the technology accessible to a much wider audience. So it's not just about the environmental benefits, but also the ease of use, affordability, and regulatory simplicity. Interesting. But the article also mentions battery storage adding a significant cost. Doesn't that somewhat negate the affordability aspect?
That's a valid point. Adding battery storage bumps up the price by at least €1,000. However, the article suggests that the initial savings on electricity bills can still make it worthwhile within 6 years, even with the added battery cost. It really depends on individual circumstances and energy consumption. It's a trade-off between upfront cost and long-term savings.
I see. So it's a compelling option for many, but not a universal solution. The article also highlights the broader context of energy communities and the potential for increased self-sufficiency in cities. That's a fascinating aspect, isn't it? Intense. It's not just about individual balconies, but a larger shift towards decentralized energy generation.
Exactly. The article mentions that cities are heavily reliant on external energy sources, often around 97%. Balcony solar, along with energy communities using rooftop solar on public buildings, represents a move towards greater energy independence and a more democratic energy system. It's a really exciting development.
It certainly is. And the fact that Germany, a leader in solar energy, has embraced this technology so enthusiastically speaks volumes. It seems like balcony solar is more than just a trend. It's a significant step towards a more sustainable future. Fascinating stuff.
Absolutely. And the article suggests that other European countries are following suit, with Spain, Italy, and Poland showing increasing interest. Even Belgium, which initially banned plug-in solar, is now lifting the ban. The technology is clearly here to stay. Thanks for joining us on Tech Bytes and News. We hope you enjoyed this discussion on the rise of balcony solar power. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today we're diving into a fascinating update from Google Maps regarding a significant geographical name change. Get ready.
Ooh, exciting! Is it a major geopolitical shift or something more technical? I'm on the edge of my seat.
It's a bit of both, actually. The U.S. Geographic Names Information System, or GNIS, has officially changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. A pretty big deal.
Wow, that's a huge change. I wonder what the implications are. Will this affect navigation, or is it purely a nomenclature update?
That's a great question. It's primarily a nomenclature update, but Google Maps is reflecting the change. Users in the U.S. will now see Gulf of America, while those in Mexico will still see Gulf of Mexico. Everyone else will see both names. It's all about location-based display, you see.
So it's location-aware, using data from the phone's operating system, like the SIM card and locale settings? Clever. But, what about the web version? How does that work?
Exactly. For the web version, it depends on the region selected in your search settings or your device's location if you haven't specified a region. It's all very sophisticated, really. Google's really thinking ahead here.
I see. Interesting. But, doesn't this create some inconsistencies? What if someone is traveling and their phone's location is constantly changing? Will the name keep flipping back and forth?
That's a valid point. It's possible, yes. However, Google's system is designed to be fairly robust. The change is primarily for static displays, and the dynamic nature of location data is handled gracefully. It's not a perfect system, but it's a good solution. It's a complex problem with a clever solution.
Right. So it's not a complete overhaul of the mapping system, but a nuanced update to reflect a real-world change. I guess that makes sense. It's all about keeping the maps accurate, right?
Precisely. Google's commitment to accuracy is evident here. They're adapting to the official name change, ensuring their maps reflect the most up-to-date information. It's a testament to their dedication to providing users with the best possible experience.
Absolutely. It's a subtle but important change that highlights the dynamic nature of geographical information and how technology adapts to it. A fascinating example of technology in action.
Exactly. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on Tech Bytes and News. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of geographical name changes and Google Maps. Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of explainable, linear programs. It's a topic that blends optimization, supply chain management, and even the power of large language models.
Exactly. I'm really excited about this. So the core idea seems to be making linear programs, which are used extensively in supply chain optimization, more understandable.
Precisely. Linear programs are powerful, but their solutions can be opaque, especially with complex models. Think thousands or millions of variables and constraints. A real black box for non-experts.
Right, and that's where the explainability comes in. The author's approach back in 2020 involved interactively modifying the model and comparing results, right?
Yes. By adding, removing, or tweaking constraints and the objective function, and then comparing the solutions before and after the changes. It's like a sophisticated diff tool, but for linear programs. And the key is adding semantic metadata. Tagging variables with information like location, product, or time window to make the comparisons meaningful.
So you're essentially making the changes and the resulting impact on the solution transparent. Clever.
Exactly. This helps experts quickly debug problems. But the author had bigger ambitions. Automating the process of exploring model sensitivity and robustness, even before a human asks a question. That's where the real power lies, you know?
Ambitious indeed. And then comes the 2023 Microsoft paper. They essentially did the same thing, but with an LLM, to translate natural language queries into structured queries for the linear program.
That's the game changer. The LLM acts as a bridge, allowing non-experts to interact with the system using natural language. It's a fantastic fit. The LLM handles the human-facing interaction, while the robust linear program solver does the heavy lifting.
I see. But the author finds it interesting that the LLM seems to be what made the Microsoft paper publishable. The core idea, without the LLM, might not have been considered novel enough.
That's a really interesting point, and a bit frustrating for the original author, I think. It highlights the current bias in research towards flashy new techniques, sometimes overshadowing the underlying value of simpler, yet impactful, solutions. It's almost like the LLM is the shiny new toy that makes the whole thing publishable.
Yeah. It's a bit ironic, isn't it? The core contribution might be the explainability itself, but the LLM is what gets the attention.
Precisely. The author argues that a strong understanding of explaining simpler systems is crucial for explaining more complex AI systems. And yet, this seemingly important area of research seems underappreciated.
It's a thought-provoking point. It makes you wonder how many other valuable, yet seemingly mundane, ideas are overlooked because they lack the wow factor of a new technology.
Exactly. It's a reminder that sometimes the most impactful innovations aren't the flashiest. And that's it for today's episode of Tech Bytes and News. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the daily roundup of Tech Bytes and News. See you again tomorrow. Goodbye.